Scratch, touch. Pause, engage. Okay, all right. Okay, now just get your spots. Now start the scrum. Start the scrum. Start the scrum. Start the scrum. Start the scrum.
Shoulders through.
So you were lifting then? Yeah. How did you feel then?
When he was doing the shoulder?
Yes.
It was pressure.
Pressure. I reckon as you start to scrum, what do you reckon is happening to your heart? Your shoulders.
My shoulders are coming out.
Yeah, so remember it's the same thing. Your shoulders, it's always shoulders down and through. Okay? So you're chinning the shin is through. Okay? And so are you trying to come around the corner anymore?
Step?
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. Have a crack at him. So this time we'll go in. Rather than engage, we'll just ease in, get your positions and then start scrumming through. That's good. Okay, so you've got your positions. Right, okay, now start to scrum, start to scrum, start to scrum. So keep working those shoulders down there, Chris. Go, there. Could you get up underneath me? No, that's right, but mate, this is what's happening in a game. You can say if there's 2 on 1, but mate, this is the fucking game. Okay? So this is what you've got to get used to. You've got to be able to be in a position where against these two, you can hold your weight. Because that's it in a game. So this is where, in that instance, what really lock down, what I want you to do this time, what's happening when you start to scrum is you start to come up. What I want you to do is drive your shoulder down on Sammy's neck there for me. And keep it down on that neck there, and that takes him out of play. Okay? Let's go again.
Don't let him do it, Sam. Rotate that shoulder, Waggy.
Okay. Now let's get in position, get hard on that neck, mate, and really locking down. Really drive that shoulder down on that neck. Down on that neck. Now let's start to scrum. Down on there. Work hard down on that neck. Stay down, mate. Keep driving that chin through. Driving that chin through. Chin through. Okay, he's starting to come around the corner, so now start to drive the hole. Start to drive the hole, but keep working down. Yeah. Okay, pull it out.
What's up, Sam? Just 2 of them.
Can you tell me, does that feel better?
Throw a lock in there.
Okay. But essentially, that's what you've got to become comfortable with. Because like it or not, it's 2v1 at the very least. Okay? All right. But the key there is, rather last times when you start to scrum, as you start to come up, is what you're looking to do there is you're trying to drive that shoulder right down that neck, lock him in that poor position and keep going. And as he starts to wriggle around and move, and what will happen is he'll start to try and come around the corner. And again, you just go out at him, and as he goes a bit further, what's going to happen between them then? Their hips start to split. So Sammy, while you're doing that, you're going to really focus on having a lot of your weight coming through that inside shoulder. Yeah. Okay? So you don't get in that position. Right, let's make it a bit tougher. Let's get a second row behind you and a second row behind you. We'll work on pulling in later. Okay, let's go. Okay. Let's hold that position. Okay, now start to scrum. Start to scrum. We work on the second row. That'll do. Okay, where do you reckon your shoulder is at the moment? You're on his left cheek for a start. Your shoulder needs to be right up his face on there. And that's got to stay there the whole time. Otherwise he's got no support. You really feel that way, isn't it? There's not much support in the okay. Alright, so the way we do with the bicep curl, A, it holds you in position, and B, what it does is it holds your shoulder on that point. And when you engage, what you do is the fire end is you punch that elbow forward. Okay? So you're punching from the shoulder and directly through that cheek. But the key is that shoulder's got to stay in that take hold. If it moves onto his leg, it just upsets him. Where he wants his power directly going through that. Okay, so let's try that one again. As I said, we'll work on getting weight forward a bit later. So lock it in, lock that shoulder in there, mate. You see, you still, hang on a second. Come over, mate. See, you're on his leg there. Yeah. I need your shoulder in his cake-hole there. In his cake-hole. Up underneath it. Okay. Tell me, give me some feedback, Chris, as to whether you feel stronger with him or weaker.
Yeah, no, that's good.
That's good, sweet. Okay, now keep working those shoulders down. Keep. Okay. That'll do. So your feet are slipping a bit there. That feel better? From your point of view? Okay, how did it feel for you?
Fine.
No, what do you mean? Yeah. But what the question you asked him then, what's he doing differently?
Well, y'all are talking. I'm just trying to figure out what he's doing different than y'all. So I don't see it. I mean, the first time you put the pressure on me, that's
well, with the first couple of given, I'm just going straight up. Second, are you trying to lock him out there, Woogie?
I don't even think the thing's fit me.
You're trying to lock him out? Okay. So what would you normally do to scrummage on him then? What are you trying to do?
my bind's
You want to try and get both shoulders up underneath him here. If you get up underneath him here, he's got no power. You can't get that shoulder underneath, so you can start to dominate that scrum. What he's trying to do is get his shoulder but hard on your neck. So you're saying not differently, but the first two scrums, mate, you were dominating. The third scrum, he starts to dominate you. There's got to be something different there, isn't it? Yeah, but again, what you're feeling it. You said to me that he was on your neck.
not just now.
No, the one before. Yeah.
That's what you introduced me. Yeah.
I'm not. The big difference here is what we're trying to tell Woggy to do. Because what's happening on the weekend is with the loose head coming around, he's getting his hooker through. Because you said to me on the weekend, getting pressure through from the hooker.
No, I was just.
Well, you said 2 days ago that you had pressure coming through and your inside shoulder from the hooker and you couldn't get around the corner. Am I correct or not correct?
I just felt like I was. The engage was always good. And
Yeah.
The second thing, I was trying to push this way for a reason.
Yeah. But could you get out to it?
It was an issue with me. Like, it's not like we dived to me trying to go like this. It was just we engaged. He came in and like there was never enough time.
This is scrum, is it? Neither did I. Is it all? Look at the end. Look, you've got to get hard on his neck. But I thought we just proved the point to you. If you can get your shoulders out, you can actually stay on his neck and you can dominate the scrum. Well, not dominate, but dominate him.
And on Saturday it was state by state. Regardless of whether or not I wanted to try to put pressure on his neck.
Yeah.
There wasn't time for me to like, okay, I need to pressure on his neck and face him like this.
Mate, the pressure starts from the engagement. You get on his neck from the engagement, and then as he starts to come around the corner, that's when you've got to go out.
I'll take these guys.
Yeah,
In the back row.
That's when you go out.
Back row
at him
players.
And get hard on the neck.
I'm not trying to pass it up.
Yeah.
I need all of it too, but I just didn't feel like it was.
It's a good thing with the game. You're still good in the game. It's afterwards, it's just you can't go into it.
We had to engage, and it was like.
But again, if he's able to come around the corner, he's able to come around the corner because you'd be slipped under. Okay, so you've still got a responsibility in terms of the front row to keep your shoulder on his neck. What I'm saying is, that, and it's what we discussed the other day, that if Oggy has that high bind and he starts to lock the hooker out, it gives you more freedom to be able to do that. That wasn't happening on the weekend. It's not happening just when we said it before. If the other hooker was getting his shoulders through, and I was sick of you saying that you had pressure also coming from the hooker.
There's pressure all over the place.
Yeah, but I mean, if you work properly through, you're not going to get much pressure through it. Like, I wasn't feeling any pressure from Oggy when I was scrummaging through here. I felt like I was able to dominate the two of them, purely because I was working my shoulders through. Like, you can say 8 on 8 and all that stuff. To be honest with you, like, this is the point of contact. Even if you've got poor weight behind you, if you can dominate this point of contact and get him in shit position, what do you reckon all that weight behind him's going to do? It's going to fucking put him in worse position. See what I mean? It starts here, boys. Right? All that stuff like winning the engagement. So if you're getting the engage and then the pressure's coming off, part of that is because you haven't done your job in locking him out of position. You lock him out of position, he can't get in position. The reason is, just get down for me, Sammy, is because when you've got your head on his neck, where's all the weight going at the moment? It's going up through from there, up through his back and through there because you've locked him in that position there. See what I mean? You've got to remember, this is the most important part of it. You can do all the stuff and all the with the locks and your bloody breakaways and that sort of stuff. That's all subsidiary to winning this bit here. You've got to win that first. Okay? So let's go again. Let's just get hooker. Yeah, second right. Now what I want you to do is get on his shoulder, so lock him down, but really start putting pressure on that neck, mate. Start putting pressure on the neck, and even start to take that away, take it away, so you can really... Okay, how are you feeling now, Sam? Hey? Where do you feel the pressure? On your neck? Just keep working away there, keep working away, keep working there. So as he starts to come around, go out at him, mate. He's coming around, go out at him. Go at him, keep that shoulder there, keep the shoulder there, keep the shoulder there. Keep working your shoulder, that shoulder down. Work it down, work it down. Now as he goes further, then you've got him. Pull it out. I still reckon you're sliding just off his neck. So you know you've got him like this at the moment. As he starts to slide out, just can I just come in with the two of you? Just come around this side for me, Chris. So as I'm in here right now, so at the moment your shoulder, so you're getting there, like this, isn't it? You want before I reckon your shoulder's here, correct? Right. Yeah. So if he's like, so when you're pulling like that, if you go away, what's happening now? Where's the pressure going to? Is there more pressure going to the neck? See what I mean, Chris? So in that instance, how are you feeling now? What's his body position now? Okay, see what I mean? So suddenly I'm able to start to dominate this. Now, even they start to come around on me, Sammy. If they're not going to start to drive the hole, and split the two of them, one of them what way? See what I mean?
It's really concentrate on putting pressure on the neck.
Sorry? Yeah. All right, so let's have another crack at it. Let's get the locks in. Make sure you get this right up his plate. So not getting on his leg. Okay. Work that down that way, mate. Down that way. So you're driving that shoulder. That's better. Drive it down. Drive that shoulder down. Drive it down. And look. Give some feedback.
It's a lot of pressure.
You feel as well?
I was having to. Yeah. Usually the ground, you just feet. Because we're putting more pressure, we're both bearing down more. Yeah.
Okay, sweet. Okay. So the key is that you want all that pressure driving down in that motion now. So you're driving his neck. So it's almost as if you're driving your chin towards his shin at all times. And all your pressure is going through that. You're still working equally through here, and you've got that loose bind through there, okay, which locks lock in, and you have more pressure on here, don't you? Yep, sweet, okay. But you really want all that power going through there and forcing him down. That takes him out of it. Okay. All right, let's get a flanker on this side as well, so let's make a bit more clarity.
Hey, Kurt,
That's good. Start scrumming. Keep working that through, keep working through. Keep that shoulder down. That'll do. Okay, how'd that feel? You're tight at wheel. Yeah. Feel better? What was that one before?
Sure. I mean, yeah. It feels like really early power also.
Yeah.
But is it?
Do people have a hard time doing that? Like, because it seems like I'm real far away from where the hooker would be, trying to get my shoulder all the way in there.
Because what he's telling us is like, keep changing things up and like, so I watched last week he was telling you guys to
I want to strip this shoulder.
Shoulders on the hooker.
Who's it?
Coach. So I mean
There's different theories. Like, for example, the Argentinians want all the pressure going through the
because that's conflicted.
Well, yeah, well, look, again, it's look, if you go to Argentina, they'll say, well, look, their props are actually behind the hooker. So, but I reckon at the moment, you're the tight end, you're the most important person. All right, so we want the most weight. Because remember, if we go back to this again, you're at 2-on-1 straight away. All right, so we want the most weight coming through you. You're still got to win this first, but we want the most weight coming through you. Okay? And similar to the loose head, look, as the loose head comes around the corner, what's his lock going to do? He's going to go with him, isn't he? Okay, so in essence here, you could split a bit there. Okay? I mean, there's some people who say you don't want any pressure through the old school guys say you don't. You're always going to have pressure through the hooker if you're going to be square. But the key is you've got to have that shoulder up his cracker. And we were talking about Nick before he left. He said the worst thing you could have as a prop is have that shoulder on your leg. You just lose all your stability. Right. Now what we'll do now is we'll go back to you two and the lock here. And what I want the locks to do this time is I want you to hold, so it's a bicep curl to hold him back, and what I want you to do is really get that weight forward, because you want your pressure, your shoulders going down on his neck. Okay? So it's getting the shoulder, so when you engage, it's banging, you're on that neck straight away, get in position and lock him in early. Because you want to get him in that position where he's like that. If you get him like that, you'll have no issues with the loose head. Okay? And yet when they do all this sort of shit where they've got him tucked in the shoulder and this sort of stuff, you control where he puts his feet. Okay? At the end of the day, you control where he puts his feet. He's always got to go to the outside of you. So if you want to make him go wider, can I have a look at that? Okay? So I'm just going to step through. Just keep your outside foot up and make him go wide. He's always got to be on the outside of his feet. You can even start with that shoulder out here, make him go wide. Okay? Hey? It's not dangerous. It means for you, so if you
We're both fighting, I'm not going to win.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, you've got to go here, mate. You can't go here because you're everybody your own hooker. He's going to the same hole. See what I mean?
I don't know where to go.
Okay, and then, Ben Darwin, look, he broke his neck in the last World Cup. But he had retired at age 26, and Australia didn't have had tight head problems, had he been forced to retire. But he used to say that if I first couple of scrums, I used to make him go wide. As soon as I made him go wide, I had an easy go. Because if he gets up, so he just come around. If he has to engage under here, so just engage under there for me. Where's your shoulder already? I'm already on your neck, aren't I? If you have to go wide, so if you get your head on the outside, you get on the outside. So I'm already on your shoulder there, aren't I? See what I mean? So that's an easy, you can make it easy for you by just a few of those little tricks. Okay? And by having that inside foot up, straight away you've already got, if he's going to come around the corner and throw, and that's the point about what we're talking about in the weekend, because straight away you're already out of it. Right, so let's try that. We're just bicep curling. Where's your foot? So essentially what it is, so just give me your finger. So it's in there like that, so I'm going to lock in position, and it's a bicep curl, so now get the weight forward, so I'm holding him back, but when I engage, so I punch through. So I'm trying to lock. Pulling him in, so I'm locking the shoulder. I didn't actually lock him properly there. But I'm locking his shoulder on, but I'm holding him back because the position I want to get him in is. Could someone hold me in that position? I'll show you what I'm looking at. We need a stronger shoulder just to get better position. So just. The position I want to get into, so holding that position. Now, I'll be back. Now I'm in that position, see, I'm actually in the firing position. I've got my legs set, and then when we engage forward, it's banging in position to go. So So without them doing that, you can only get to a point where you're just sort of balancing, sort of mean. By doing that, and if you watch I do have some footage of the Australian side doing it, you'll see that the number 8s are pulling back as well, because it's hard for the hooker as well, but if you've got the number 8, but really holding back here as well, what can happen is you get all your weight forward, you put your feet up underneath you, but when you engage, you actually engage in a position that's quite strong.
Yeah, sure. The next thing I was going to ask you about footwork, like when you're holding back before you scrum.
Yeah.
How are you? How do you hold it?
Just essentially, it's just going to be square, but when you engage, you chase up, and again, the key is you keep yourself squared again. That's your primary purpose. If he starts to go out, you just stay squared in. Okay? If his hips start to fly out like that, you've got to try and bring those hips back in.
All right. So my feet should be, if I'm holding back, my feet should be square, and that's where we're going to trust the 8-man to be pulling us back too.
Chris, do you want to go in? Just hold him back, and I'm just going to get on your back, mate, so we can start to get what it looks like. Okay, so hold him back, and I'm going to start holding you back. Okay, so Chris, tell me when you feel comfortable leaning forward there, mate. You comfortable? Yep. Okay, so in that position, when you want to fire, it's bang, you just go, all right, and you get that engagement quickly, lock in your grips as quickly as possible. So what you do there, as soon as you get that engaged, is bang, get through there nice and quickly, and lock out quickly, so you give them nothing. You win that shoulder battle first, and then you get the strike, ball comes in, and then then the shit starts to happen. And that's when all you've got to make sure you stay in his net. He starts to go around the corner. I reckon you're going to start using that one where you, rather than pulling him in there, and it allows him to get up underneath there a bit, is start working that one away, because it rolls your shoulder around onto the cuff of his neck and makes it harder for him. Okay, but it's down. You're really driving that down, driving it towards the end.
How tight should the locks be together in this type of situation? Should we be like squeezing each other real?
Oh, no, not squeezing each other so much. Because the worst thing that can happen is you get so tight that you end up on his leg. Okay? You want to have your hips together, but you also want to make sure that your primary focus is to have your shoulder up his back and not on one side. Because that's when he loses any power from the head. And that's when he's really got to be good with what he's doing.
So would you say that their binds with the props and
Yes, shit, yeah. Yeah. Shit, yeah, because at the end of the day, this is where it all happens. That's right. And you know, you can do some things around the semicircle where you walk with each other, so you've got to stay on him the whole time, and you're getting that kinesthetic feeling of having to stay in that position. So you start engaged and just having to walk and just edge it round. So there's heaps of core stuff you can do. And all this sort of stuff here is good, but do it, like we do a lot, even 3-on-3 just with the engage. But 2-on-1, the 2-on-1's good because that's the situation you're in the whole time, and you've got to get strong, and it gives them a chance, because they need to work together to give you a bashing as well. Okay, and remember, Nick's always said the ground's your friend. Right? Yeah. So your head's all, the big thing to here too is, in terms of your head position, okay, there's never that, obviously, right? But you also never want to be in a position where you're like that. And the reason for that is just stand up straight for a minute, okay? So just with your head nice and straight, just straight, mate. So just nice and relaxed, okay? Now, just look up through your eyebrows here. Now, if you just bend forward, keep that head position. Just hold that head position. Now he's in nice straight position. Now if you get your head right up, go right up for him. Okay? Now stand up.